George Clooney and Brad Pitt's new movie, Wolves, is on Apple TV Plus September 27th.
That's where I want you to be now.
So if you want to see George Clooney and Brad Pitt, go to Apple TV Plus.
You got to start the story there.
Or if you want to see Brad Pitt and George Clooney, go to Apple TV Plus.
I am enjoying the show.
And if you want to see their new movie, Wolves,
You can't do it, I'm going to help you out. I can do it, so do it.
definitely go to Apple TV Plus.
Admit it, it's cool. Okay, fine, it was very cool.
Wolves, streaming September 27th on Apple TV Plus. Rated R.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Well, international football's over and the real stuff is back. We saw loads of things. Arteta celebrating his contract with a win over rivals Tottenham. A lot set back for the Reds as a shocking loss to Nottingham Forest. Rashford and Watkins getting their scoring boots on for their respective clubs. And Everton, things just go from bad to worse. This is the final whistle. Game week 4, and joining me on the podcast to talk about all the key talking points from the match days from game week 4, I am delighted to introduce, I hope, a little bit of an optimistic Ben Pescod. How are you doing, Ben?
I'm good, yeah. To be fair, it's been a really good weekend of football, other than Liverpool, obviously, but on the whole, it's actually been a really enjoyable weekend, most to talk about, so yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it. Okay,
well, let's talk about the big one then. You know, I'd say that the highlight game, the North London derby, Spurs v Arsenal. Spurs had a few, injuries and, suspensions going ahead into this game. Solanke started for Spurs. Gabriel getting the goal on 64th minute, just completely ruining it for Spurs. I mean, what did you make of this? Because it felt like, to me, Spurs had a lot of huff and puff, but nothing in terms of the final product. And Arsenal just defending really well and then just undoing Spurs on a set piece.
Yeah, I think wasteful is probably the right word for Spurs. Really frustrating. There's a chance for the one that really comes to mind is Solanke gets the ball. I think White's pass from the back's intercepted and it falls to Solanke and he doesn't even get a shot off. It's just little things like that. They just don't look at it. But for Arsenal, that's a crucial win. I mean, I was thinking about it before yesterday, and obviously they've got Man City next weekend. If they hadn't won today, and then say they go and lose to Man City, I mean, it sounds bizarre to say it, but it's almost as if the title run's almost over before it's even started, because we all know you can't afford to drop too many points for Man City hanging around. So it really was a crucial win and a really mature performance from Arsenal. So.
I mean, what did you make of them? There was a lot of handbags, 7 yellow cards in the first half, and then we saw that Timber situation, and, it was a yellow card. But last season, we saw a red given to Curtis Jones against Spurs, actually, funny enough. What did you make of that?
I didn't think it was a red. I felt Porro made the most of it, definitely, and like with that Jones one, we were all very quick to say that wasn't a red. And
wasn't a red, you're right.
Yeah. And with Jones, I feel like with Jones, it was unlucky because it was maybe slightly more force with Jones as well, and it looked worse. Like that still frame of the guy's ankle rolling and stuff like that. Whereas there was barely any contact here. It was all much ado about nothing, really. That's how I thought about it. But.
No, I think you're spot on. I think the highlight there being just the inconsistency of the officiating, but at least they got it right this season. Overall, Arsenal, what do you make of Arsenal? Because they've got a lot of attacking players, and we saw Sterling come on as well. They've got so many attacking players, but they are such a uber defensive side.
Yeah, really, like I said, mature, and obviously they've got such a young squad, and I think you're starting to see them. We're watching them grow constantly.
Yeah.
One person who really caught my eye was Timber, actually. He got that really bad injury in his first season, and he seems to have come in. He's playing left side of the defence, which isn't his natural position. And he seems to be doing absolutely fine. He's really impressive. And I know they've got Calafiori, who also can play there, but he looks really good. But Arteta will be over the moon. I think it's a perfect way to win, really. You know, they didn't really seem to have to push themselves too much. I don't think it was ever, as soon as they went ahead, it wasn't really in any doubt. I mean, Tottenham started bringing on Sarr, and he was just shooting from everywhere, and I think they ran out of ideas pretty quickly, Spurs. And I remember on the last podcast I said about Ange Postecoglou and how he's getting a bit touchy. I think the honeymoon period with him is well and truly over. He looks
I knew you were going to go there. I knew you were going to bring that.
So fed up. I don't know if you've seen, but his interview after the game where he shuts down the reporter. Have you seen it?
I've not seen the interview. No.
He said a quote the other day about in his second season at the clubs he always wins, and the reporter was asking, "Do you still think that's going to be the case?" And he got really, really defensive over it. He's just so miserable at the minute. But...
Yeah, it does happen. It really does happen. I remember actually Jurgen Klopp being really, really touchy in his conferences. You know,
the thing is, no, Klopp could bag it up.
Yeah,
bag it up. There's this Spurs team at the minute. It just looks like they're all out of ideas. Maddison doesn't look anywhere near the player he was. It's just...
Yeah, Son was really, really quiet in this one as well. Yeah, big players not performing. They've got some very, very good players as well, which is it's so bizarre. But yeah, things just aren't quite happening for them. So yeah, I guess that's where we'll leave Arsenal and Spurs. Right, let's move on to the 4:30 kickoff then. Ben, Wolves 1, Newcastle United 2. Goals from Lamina to kick things off for Wolves looked really bright and sparky. 2 long-range shots in the second half, and from Shaw and Harvey, who I think he's been really impressive for a somewhat underwhelming Newcastle side, who managed to get results, by the way. I'm actually a little bit devastated and gutted for Wolves. I thought they played really well. I thought they were really, really sort of trying to get some joy on Newcastle's left-hand side. Cunha, Lamina doing really well, leading up. I thought Larson missed some glorious chances there. Could have easily made it 2-3-0. What did you make of this one?
Yeah, they just seem to be grinding out results at the minute, Newcastle. I do think he's got away with one, to be honest, because, I mean, the Shaw goal takes a deflection and obviously Barnes pulls out a wonder strike, but I thought he got his lineup wrong. He's still not going with Tonali, he's still going with Longstaff, and like Barnes was even on the bench somehow. But all that matters is, I mean, I'm just looking at the table here, the third, unbeaten from 4. So, you would have took that at the start of the season. And I think performances will come. You've still got the likes of Gordon and Isaac who aren't really clicking at the minute. I mean, I was saying when I was watching the game, Gordon looks so uninterested. I don't know if anyone else has noticed it, but he's slouching, he's walking around, and it's not the Gordon we saw last season at all.
Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that Newcastle have been trying to pimp him out all summer?
Potentially. I mean, you would be quite frustrated, wouldn't you? So, I mean, I don't want to put 2 and 2 together and get the wrong answer, but.
Yeah, obviously we're just
speculating.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't look the same as last season at all. I don't know what's going on. Could be fitness, but I don't know. But Wolves, I think the fans might be getting a bit frustrated with how many times are they gonna. We keep on saying, "Oh, they look quite bright," but then they just can't get over the line. Still haven't won a game yet.
Yeah.
So really frustrating. Defensively, they look really poor.
Yeah, they do look really good, to be fair, defensively. And and it did take Newcastle to kind of think, we're just going to shoot it from long range and let's see what happens. And that's what happened, because I did think they did defend really well. Wolves, I mean, they've got some good players, a few good players also. Andre started for them as well. I find that really intriguing that, last winter, big clubs were linked with this guy. It just goes to show footballers are a commodity, and it's almost like they were a trend of the season. Yeah,
I remember Liverpool were really strongly linked with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I Fulham were linked with them at some point as well.
Yeah,
I think he'll come good. I think him and João Gomez will make a decent midfield pairing, but they're definitely missing Pedro Neto for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That creative kind of hub that just really did kind of seal things. But Cunha, for me, looks like a good player for them. But yes, it is looking a bit concerning. And, once Shaw got that goal, you kind of knew where that was going, because that goal came out of nowhere as well, by the way, from Newcastle. So again, testament to them where they just are pulling that results out of nothing, and before the international break, to Spurs as well. So, you have to give them some credit, and I think they'll just get better as well, because they've not got European football as well. I think they might be a team that might be just in that mix for the top four, because I think that spot will be open. But yeah, a really, really good result for Newcastle there. Let's move on to a 3:00 kickoff. Let's go with the champions. Man City 2, Brentford 1. Wissa getting a goal in like 20-something seconds, and Haaland just getting the brace and just being himself, but not getting the hat-trick. Off form there, Haaland. But what do you make of it? Because I thought the result flattered Brentford. I thought Man City being Man City could have scored an awful lot more. And the goal that they conceded, to me, it just looked like they were just not quite at the game yet, 25 seconds in.
Yeah, it's almost like taking pity, isn't it? Just give them a head start and we'll get them. They're doing the same with Ipswich as well.
It's like a breakpoint moment from them, wasn't it? Like they're just not, they weren't expecting it.
But they're grinding out results, and Haaland, it's mental. Haaland, as good as he is, it's almost as if he doesn't get the praise he deserves. Because I think people are so reluctant to praise him because he's that good that people don't want to praise him. He is absolutely sensational. I mean, the numbers he puts up, if it's anyone else, I know people will say he takes the fun out of it, but I can't remember if it was the first or second goal where he just nudges the defender when the ball's in mid-air and just shrugs him off and chips the keeper. It's just, if anyone else is doing that, everyone's going crazy, but with him, it's just a standard now. So,
I think that was his first goal, because he kind of turns and shoots, doesn't he? And then the second one, he gets Edson plays a beautiful long range shots, a long range ball to him, and he finds him, and he just kind of runs through on the keeper and just slots it past him. I mean, those are his kind of vintage kind of goals. But yeah, his numbers are ridiculous. You're right. I don't think he gets the praise that he actually does get the praise, but he's just ridiculously good. It's actually disgusting if he doesn't play for your club. That's where I am with him.
Yeah, I think people are just sick of him.
I think so too. I think, but obviously not Man City fans. But yeah, Man City just being Man City, and I think just the perfect result and performance for them going ahead against that game against Arsenal, of course, as you've mentioned. Let's move on to another 3:00. Fulham 1, West Ham 1. Jimenez getting the goal, and Danny Ings in injury time. Now, we've spoke about Fulham, haven't we, Ben? And we've always said that, they seem to be lacking a little something. But in this game, I thought Traore looked a little bit lively for them. He was trying, and a bit frustrating for, Fulham to concede in injury time, because they held on for so long.
It's such an awful goal to concede as well.
Yeah.
So bad.
Ings took it so well, though, to be fair. To his other foot and just shoots. Yeah. Bowen, be very, very disappointing for Fulham. But Smith Rowe looks really good for them. I feel like they've got a lot of creative kind of players around Jimenez, but I don't feel, and they've got Muniz as well, who obviously didn't play, but again, they're just that team for me where I think they'll be disappointed with that. I know Bassi tried at the end. He tried to get a goal at the end, but yeah. I
think they'll be pulling the hair up, because I had quite a few chances as well.
Yes.
But it's just, I can't get over the goal, the Ings goal. I just don't get how. I mean, to be fair, West Ham's goal that they conceded was poor as well, because I think everyone stops and thinks the ball's going out, and Smith Rowe keeps it in.
Yeah.
Then West Ham score from the throw-in, and I think it's one of those games. One thing that I do say about West Ham, I don't really understand how Antonio is still starting for them, to be honest. I know they've signed Fulkrug. I don't know whether he's just not ready yet, but I'd rather be playing Bowen down the middle than starting Antonio. And then
is he injured? I'm sure he's injured.
Who is it? Fulkrug's injured.
Yeah, I'm sure he is.
He's got to be, because
he has to be.
And there's no way you're bringing Danny Ings on ahead of him either. But
yeah, there you go. That explains that. That. Yeah. Fulham, create a lot, but just not, didn't do an awful lot. Let's move on to another 3:00. I'm trying to avoid Liverpool for as long as possible, but first we're going to go to Crystal Palace 2, Leicester 2. Vardy and Mavdidi getting the goals for Leicester, 2-0, and then Matete, their guy, getting 2 goals.
It was a good game, this, actually, when I was watching it back. Vardy, I mean, there was doubts. I remember when Leicester got relegated at the start of the season, he wasn't starting every week for Leicester in the Championship, and people were like, "Oh, his legs must have gone. He can't hang it." And then he's come in the Premier League and he's playing better than what he was in the Championship. So he's such a legend, isn't he? Like how late he broke onto the scene and how long he's kept it going, and it's a bit inevitable, isn't it?
He is. I mean, I think the frustrating thing for Leicester would be bringing on Conor Cody at the end to kind of tighten up the game, and he's the one that can take the penalty.
Yeah.
He'll be frustrated at that.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Palace looked really shaky defensively.
Mm.
I mean, they sold Anderson to Fulham, which I couldn't really get my head around it at the time.
He used to play for them.
Yeah, surely the question in that decision, though, did they have to sell him for like financial reasons, or did they genuinely just think they could get better than him? I don't know. They look really, really poor. To be fair, I've been quite disappointed with Palace on the whole so far this season.
Yeah, this season, considering how they ended last season.
Yeah, everyone was raving about them, and
yeah.
I mean, they have that quality going forward that seems to keep on saving them with like Eze and Mateta, but there's only so many times that they can bail you out before. The spark's definitely not there like it was at the end of last season.
Yeah, and AU coming back to Selhurst Park, we'll have to give that a little mention as well.
Yeah, they love him. I didn't realise how much Crystal Palace fans loved him. But I don't remember seeing the video of him where he gets subbed off. He's walking around the pitch and there's a Crystal Palace, but I think it might be Mateta, runs off the pitch to high-five him and he's getting a standing ovation. I mean,
wow.
I didn't realise how much I loved him, but there you go.
Onana will be seething. He will be seething at that one. Let's go there. Aston Villa 3, Everton 2. They get that 2-goal lead start again. McNeil early on and Calvert-Lewin. Watkins finally scoring, because obviously he's been a bit disappointing, and of course he missed some glorious chances against Arsenal. So he gets a brace and a wonder strike from Duran. Oh God. Everton 2-0 up is never quite enough for them. I mean, and we spoke about Onana there. I mean, he was just getting absolutely pelted from Everton players.
Yeah.
Attention parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles. Got a kid who's not into biking or spends too much time on screens? Then you've got to check out Guardian Bikes. Featured on Shark Tank and awarded the top kids bike in 2024 by the New York Times Wirecutter, Guardian Bikes is changing the game. What makes Guardian Bikes special? They're the easiest to ride thanks to thoughtful engineering, lightweight frames, and kid-friendly components. Kids love how fun and easy they are to ride. And parents appreciate the safety features, like the patented braking system that prevents head-over-handlebar accidents. Guardian Bikes are the only kids' bikes designed and assembled in a USA factory, ensuring top-notch quality and durability. They're built to last and make perfect hand-me-downs. Join the hundreds of thousands of happy families and get a Guardian Bike today. Visit GuardianBikes.com to save up to 25% off bikes, no code needed. Plus, receive a free bike lock and pump with your first purchase after signing up for the newsletter. That's GuardianBikes.com. Happy riding!
This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. ramp.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
A great workout deserves a great reward. Treat yourself right with new coconut smoothie bowls made with fresh fruit, purely Elizabeth granola, and now creamy coconut. You earned it. Grab a treat you can feel good about, only at Smoothie King.
I think the result makes sense. It's Aston Villa at home. And I feel like the 2 goals that they conceded were just Aston Villa not quite at the races. But I think Calvert Lewin will be kicking himself here because he had a glorious chance to make it 3-1.
Yeah, really bad. It's so Calvert Lewin, like he scores, and then that is the 2 sides of his game.
Yeah.
And it's just so undiked. Like, it's just, for them, do it once, that's bad, but do it 2 games on the bounce and throw away a 2-0 lead. I dread to think what he was like in that dressing room after yesterday. And Giroud's goal, that is an unbelievable goal. I've been saying it for a while. I remember I done a podcast in the summer when Giroud might have been leaving Villa, and I think it was about 40 million. He was being linked with the move to Chelsea, and I was saying, maybe not 40 million, but I can see there's a really good player there. But obviously, in the shadows of Watkins, it might not come through all the time. I mean, this season, he's really starting to shine, and I really like him. I just think he's a really good player.
He is a really good player, and we've been stung by him in the past last season as well as Liverpool. But yeah, he really is a clinical striker to have. But yeah, for me, this was like an Aston Villa kind of result. I expected them to win at home. Everton just throwing away another 2-goal lead again. You know, things are just not looking good for them. We've spoke about it. We're concerned. Hopefully things do turn around for them, because I think it's just a shambles on and off the pitch. We keep saying this, and maybe they thought the reset for international break might turn a corner, but not the case. We'll give them credit in terms of the opposition was better, but again, throwing away 2 goals, big questions about mentality, concentration, and defence there for me.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned the Watkins scoring. That is huge for Villa as well. Really big for Villa. I think you're seeing it, obviously, Rashford. Yeah, I know you mentioned in the intro as well, Rashford obviously got his goal. You still see, I think Solanke, time's ticking for Solanke at Spurs. I forgot to mention when we were talking about the game, where I just get this feeling that if he doesn't score soon, playing up front, it's all about confidence, isn't it? And if you go 7 more games without scoring, it's just that and it affects you again. And I think Solanke could be heading towards that. It might be bold of me to say, but I have a feeling he's going to have a pretty poor season for Spurs. I just don't really think he suits the way they play, really.
Yeah, bold predictions early on. Let's see what happens with him, because Solanke was such a devastating player for Bournemouth. So yeah, let's see what happens with him. And I do have a soft spot for him for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's you're right. I feel like he's going to go through a bit of it's like a Richarlison kind of scenario.
Yeah, it's nothing against the actual player, because even Richarlison, as annoying as he is a decent player, but I just don't think he fits what Spurs are wanting to do. But
yeah, I don't think they, I saw that, we saw the Spurs game, and, we saw the likes of Sheringham sat there and Defoe and Harry Kane tearing up and doing bits in the Bundesliga. I just feel like, that kind of focal striker is what I think he could be. I think Solanke could be it. Let's see what happens for him. Let's move on to a boring one now. Not boring. Brighton 0, Ipswich 0. I think this is the huge point for Ipswich. I'm just going to put it out there. I think the keeper made some big saves in this one. He was the man of the match. Brighton will be disappointed with this. It's home. It was against a newly promoted side. They had a lot of the ball. They applied a lot of pressure. 21 shots, 6 on target. Huge point for Ipswich. I just feel like they are settling in and finding their feet and rhythm in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think it's a great result for Ipswich. I think I said on the podcast last time that I think they might steal up. And I think this was the kind of performance that people were having doubts over whether they could do it. Like on the way to a team that creates as many chances as Brighton and keeping a clean sheet. That sort of like stubborn performance. We all know that they have the likes of Delap and Hutchinson really exciting going forward. That was never a doubt, but I had doubts whether they could have a tight enough defence. And I mean, I know Brighton had a lot of chances. Brighton will be kicking themselves that they didn't win.
Yeah.
But I think this is kind of a reminder to people that the Ipswich, yes, we kind of get some playing really nice football, but they are going to be stubborn opponents as well. So really, really good performance. And yeah, they just seem to be building steadily. And I said this last week, that's what you want to do when you come in the league. You don't want to, like what Southampton, but like you don't want to come and try and play teams off the park. You just want to slowly build that momentum and then see where you go from there. And I think they might do it.
Yeah, I think people have got quite high expectations and I think people quite like watching Ipswich. But yeah, they seem to be growing and growing. And, they faced some tough teams as well. We're talking about Liverpool, they played Man City and, of course, Brighton as well. And to get a point here is big for them, most definitely. Let's move on to the other promoted side. Southampton 0, Manchester United 3. De Ligt, Rashford and Garnacho getting the goals. Talk to me about this one, Ben, because again, I thought Saints started off quite well. I thought they had a few chances. I thought Dibbling had a really good chance. He also won him the penalty as well. Archer misses it, and I feel like that's where everything goes sideways for them, because that was their most glorious chance. You and I have discussed Southampton. They don't create an awful lot of chances. One-on-one with the keeper, penalty, it gets saved. United just up the tempo and, it's just cruise control for Man United here on. And you know what? The thing that Southampton kind of rely on as well was the possession stats. They lost them as well.
Yeah, I know Man likes to get them knocking the ball around a lot. I know you mentioned Tyler Diblin there. He looked really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest, I've never heard of him, but he looked really, really, really good. Had Darrow on toast at times. So that is one promising thing for them, but from the good stuff to the bad stuff, Jack Stevens.
Oh, God.
I don't really know how he's playing in the Premier League in 2024. That's not a good sign. But I thought he was really, really poor. Played, I'm sure he was the one who played about 4 Man United players onside for De Ligt.
I think he did. You're right. You're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of the Southampton line were on the edge of the box, and I think he was about 4 or 5 yards deeper. Played them all on, and then obviously gets sent off for actually a horrible tackle on Garnacho. And then the third goal as well, Garnacho's goal. I'm sure that Southampton defence appeal for offside, and they all just stop, just turn into statues, and then Garnacho just taps it home, and it's just. I mentioned this defensively, they look all over the place. Really poor.
I mean, Rashford gets a goal and he looked quite confident in this game.
Yeah, as soon as he scored, he started shooting from us.
Yeah, he did.
I shooting from everywhere, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, you'd expect him to, but yeah, Southampton just were on it, made it very easy for Manchester United. And to be fair, you kind of, you'd be very concerned as a Man United supporter had you drop points to Southampton, regardless of where you are with form and your manager. And also, side note, Ugarte made his debut as well. He came on as a sub. So, yeah, and Casemiro got benched. But yeah, those are some little side points from that game. Right, let's move on. Bournemouth 0, Chelsea 1, Nkunku scoring the 2 subs there for Maresca. The luxuries of having these kind of players. Sancho assisting Nkunku. But I thought, again, Bournemouth played really well. I thought that Tavernier hitting the crossbar, that had gone in, that would have been the goal for me. It would have been absolutely incredible. And again, a bit like they got a penalty. They missed it. Ivanilson, I think, missed the penalty. And I thought that was a key moment. But again, I thought Bournemouth kept applying pressure. They were, trying their best. I think they played some really good football. However, Chelsea, with all their quality and all the luxury that they have off the bench, you knew that they just need one little chance, one little opportunity, and they will undo Bournemouth. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, I feel for Bournemouth in this one. I thought Evan Nilsson really bright. I know he misses the penalty, but I think he'll come good. And yeah, like you said, Tavernier. Yeah, I really like Clyburn as well.
Yes.
I think Bournemouth will be absolutely fine. I really, really like Areola as well. It's just one of those games where, well, I think the main headline from the game is probably the referee. I'm sure it was it 14, 50 yellow cards? I think it's a new record. He was just booing everyone for dissent, every single tackle. He completely lost control of the game, but that kind of spoiled the game. But, I mean, it was quite good for a neutral. But yeah, for Chelsea, Nkunku is definitely really important for them. If they can keep him fit, it'll be really, really crucial. I think he fits what they want to do a lot more than the likes of Jackson, for example. But yeah, it's just keeping him fit. But I really, really rate him. He's a top player.
He is a really good player, and you're right there about Bournemouth. I thought, they played really well, showed themselves really well. Chelsea just having the quality, and you're right, it was a really, really entertaining game. By all accounts, I enjoyed this one. Like you said, for a neutral, it was really good, but the rest was a bit happy with the yellow cards. You kind of worry in those games because you think someone is going to get sent off, but yeah, let's not talk about referees. We're trying to avoid that. We're just, they try taking the headlines. Right, we're going to move on to the last one. You were at this one. Liverpool 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Hudson-Odoi getting the goal. Oh, first of all, talk to me about you being there, because you were there.
Yeah, it was probably, I'm trying to think before I say it, if it isn't. It's probably one of the worst performances I've seen in a long, long time from Liverpool. It was just so disjointed. The atmosphere was pretty rubbish as well. Obviously, I know people will say the players have got to give the fans something to cheer about, but there was quite a lot wrong. But it's also important not to panic too much. Slots just come in. These sort of games will happen in the season while he's implementing his style and his tactics, and players are getting used to it. I think it's a bad result, but it could also be seen as he's kind of a victim of his own success, and maybe we do just need to hold expectations steady a little bit, despite how good he started. But Forest were also really impressive.
Yeah, they were. I mean, for me, Ben, I think a setback was inevitable, right? Just a bit annoying that it happened a bit too soon, because it would have been nice for the players to kind of ride some confidence under Slot, because they're not his players, he's a new manager. I just felt like I wish it had gone a little longer for Liverpool. I thought Nottingham Forest set up really well. We knew exactly what they were trying to do. They pretty much essentially set up to park the bus, made it very frustrating and annoying for Liverpool. I don't think Liverpool had the response. Key players were below par. I think you can agree with me on that one. I won't name names, but I think collectively they were pretty dreadful. I thought the centre-backs did really well in the first half. I know, they didn't pose much of an attacking threat because they weren't set up that way, but if anything came their way, they handled it pretty well. But for me, the most alarming thing was, to some degree, moving Trent into midfield. He's probably thinking, well, the final ball is off, the creativity isn't there. I'm going to throw Trent into the midfield to get some creativity going. Obviously, wasn't the right move, because I thought Bradley got done for the goal. Right, Odoi on that side. And and then Slot just going to a back three. And the subs that came on in terms of Nunes and Gakpo didn't really impact the game. So overall, just a really, really bad show. I don't know about you, but this, as a Liverpool supporter, because I think the cat's out of the bag, I think everyone knows about Liverpool. I think this is the first time in 9 years where I actually have football anxiety, in a sense that with Klopp, I knew what I was going to get. I knew that those were his players, and we knew how the players would respond to him.
Yeah.
And I think with the new manager, it's all like, I literally don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's all about how the bounce back now. Like you say, when we knew he'd get them back playing straight away. They'd probably go out on Tuesday night and hammer AC Milan or something. But it's going to be really interesting to see whether he can get them going again.
Yeah, like what kind of message will he give them, and will it resonate with the players? These are all the questions I've got in my head.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I think the worrying thing for me was he made all 5 subs, and they don't seem to fit. The style just changed completely as well. It wasn't just personnel. They didn't fit the way we wanted to play at all.
It's not known the system. I'm going to be honest with you. It looked like what they did when he went to a back three. Shimicast and Bradley were on walkies, and you had Reto like that himself.
Yeah,
it was really bad.
I mean, the Trent thing's interesting because, on one hand, like my initial reaction was Trent was probably one of our most creative players, as he always is. Yeah. Like if anything was going to happen, it looked like it was going to be coming from Trent, really, and that was from right back. But then also you look at it, and Forest had just brought on Alanga and Hudson-Odoi. Maybe, we were talking before the game that Trent might get rested because he played a lot of football. Maybe it was just a case of bringing Bradley on to kind of as fresh legs to deal with those, like Alanga, Hudson-Odoi on that side. Sorry. So you can see both sides of it, but we lost so much rhythm with the subs, and like one of the main parts of the system is Jota dropping deep for the ball, and you just have Núñez running offside every 2 minutes, doing the complete opposite, for example. So as one player that I am worried for Núñez and the slot. I don't think he fits what Slot wants to do at all.
I will have to agree with you on this one. He doesn't really start him or gives him, small little cameos. Maybe that changes as we get more games. But yeah, it
sounds brutal, but Núñez is like, it's going to sound really brutal, but he's not an intelligent footballer.
I know what you mean. He's
got all the fundamentals and the physical traits that you'd want in a striker. But like, for example, the fact that he's offside 90% of the game is a prime example of this. But like,
he's one of the quickest as well, which makes him. Yeah, I get you.
I don't know if he's. I think it was it Brentford. Do you see the clip of him stood on Bradley's cross and he's looking across the line? He's about 10 yards offside. It's so bad. Like, you would expect like young kids playing football to know the offside rule better than that. But I don't want to keep on going on him because I really do like Núñez, but I am worried about whether he'll understand the system. But it'll take time. It'll take time with all the players, and I do still trust Slot will get it right. I'm sure he's a really, really clever manager. But it was only a couple of days ago everyone was raving about him, so let's not panic too much.
Yeah, it's just way early for everybody and everything. And a setback was inevitable, like we said. But yeah, that is game week 4, listeners. Ben, any final takeaways? Anything you want to get off your chest? I'm so sorry I left the miserable stuff till the end, but I was trying to avoid it.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine. It was still good to go, and the Forest fans were really good, to be fair, as well. They give them credit. Forest fans never stop singing, and Forest look really good, unbeaten still. So fair play to them.
Indeed, fair play to them, and a shout out to Alisson who saved it from being 2-0 from that shot on Elanga. But yeah, guys, that is game week 4. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. A huge thank you to Ben. Ben, before I let you go, where can people find you on social media, and where can people find your work?
Yeah, so at Ben Pescod Journal on Twitter. You'll see some of my stuff on the Anfield Index Twitter, EPL Index Twitter, and all my work will be on that website as well. So that's the best place to keep an eye out.
Yep, guys, go and follow Ben on Twitter and X, should I say? I can't say it, but we still call it Twitter. But follow him on X and check out all his work on EPL and AI. Guys, thank you so much for listening. There's loads of content on EPL. Dave Hendrick will be back with 2-footed. I'm sure there'll be a tad predictable here and there as well. Lots of content coming your way, and of course, a whole load of articles. Thank you for listening. Take care, and we'll catch you next week.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.